Hey everybody, today is Thursday and it is the second day of May 2024 and this is my training vlog, day 169 of year 3 of Operation Great Reset, Build Back Better, roadwork training, wheelchair roadwork training. You will have nothing, you will own nothing, and you will be happy. I'm Charles Lamson, your happiness guide. So, my plan was to go home tomorrow, still at my mom's, but I don't know, I'm just not as healed up as well as I would like to be living, to be on my own. Still having trouble putting weight on my right shoulder, so I'm still needing a little help getting in and out of bed, which when I'm by myself it's not really a doable situation. Whew. So, I'm in kind of a strange mood today. Whew. Just feeling a little tired and sluggish. I don't know. I had a gummy like in the morning. It's 1:36 right now, but I don't know if that's what the deal is or not, but I don't know, shoulders are really sore too. So anyway, the plan was to continue my in-depth, ongoing analysis and exploration of Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So that is what I'm going to do today. Let's see here. So that brings us to taking the initiative. Again, like I said, my head might not be in it 100% today, but hey, I'm here, I showed up, I'm going through the motions, waiting for that blood and the endorphins to start kicking in. But, alright, so here, I'm out here, ladies and gentlemen, I'm taking the initiative, okay? Controlling the agenda. Okay, alright, anyway. So, our basic nature is to act and not be acted upon, as well as enabling us to choose our response to particular circumstances. This empowers us to create circumstances. So taking initiative does not mean being pushy, obnoxious, or aggressive. It does mean recognizing our responsibility to make things happen. Taking initiative is a form of self-empowerment. To quote Stephen Covey. Keep it moving. This brings us to proactivity defined. Okay. I think this is where I left off last time, actually, but it's a nice little review anyway, just to sort of catch us up to speed with where we were at last time. I think this is where I left off last time. Let's see here. So, proactivity defined. Proactivity is the act of intentionally seeking ways to change one's environment rather than waiting to be forced to act. It involves thinking and acting to prepare for, intervene in, or control expected events. Proactive people see their environment as something that can change. See themselves as people who can change that environment. They take control, proactive people. They take control and they make things happen. Proactive people take responsibility for their actions and decisions. Proactive people recognize progress while recognizing the work that still remains. Whew. So I don't regret taking that gummy earlier. I did do it for medicinal purposes. I'm 55, so those old people, we get like aches and pains, stiff and sore muscles, that kind of thing. Arthritis. I've got the arthritis bad in my shoulders and just stiff and sore muscles throughout my lower body. I find I get a lot more sensation back as I grow older, but it's mostly just the stiffness and soreness associated with having an old, crippled, twisted body. But it's good though, it lets me know when stuff is wrong. I mean, it's better than just being numb. Alright, so between stimulus and response. The time between a stimulus and a response is called the reaction time. RT. RT is the time between the stimulus and when the subject makes a voluntary response. A stimulus is an event or condition that starts a response, when a response is the organism's reaction to the stimulus. Some say that the space between stimulus and response is where people have the power to choose their response. This space is often attributed to Stephen Covey or Viktor E. Frankl, with the quote, "Between stimulus and response lies a space. In that space lie our freedom and power to choose a response. In our response lies our growth and our happiness." The social mirror. The social mirror is a concept from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. The theory states that how you react to others affects how they see themselves. So, the social mirror theory is about how our actions and attitudes affect others. It states that the only vision of ourself that we have, of ourselves, we have, is based on the opinions, perceptions, and paradigms of the people around us. For example, you are never on time, or you eat like a horse. The social mirror theory can have extreme effects. Some say that we can indirectly limit our positive impact when chasing the social mirror. For example, we can rob our workplaces and communities of our individual talents when we're in consistent pursuit of the socially acceptable image. Habit 1, be proactive. Principles of personal vision. I know, here's a quote coming at you from Henry David Thoreau. I know of no more encouraging fact than the unquestionable ability of man to elevate his life by conscious endeavor. End quote. Henry David Thoreau. Look at it. What you can expect. What you can expect. No one. Yeah, I'm going kind of slow today. You might have noticed shoulders are, like I said, I'm just feeling a little strange today. I don't feel like stopping, but I don't feel like pushing it either. I just feel like going nice and slow, getting some nice blood flow in my shoulders, but not straining too much. So that's what I'm doing. Alright, so what you can expect. No one can persuade another to change. Each of us. Oh, this is a quote as well. Okay. This is a quote by Marilyn Ferguson. No one can persuade another to change. Each of us guards a gate of change that can only be opened from the inside. We cannot open the gate of another, either by argument or by emotional appeal. Marilyn Ferguson. If you decide to open your gate of change, to really understand and live the principles embodied in the 7 habits discussed in the X Proactive test. I feel comfortable in assuring you several positive things. I feel comfortable in assuring you several positive things will happen. I guess I should try to sound a little bit more confident in that sentence. If you decide to open your gate of change, to really understand and live the principles embodied in the 7 habits discussed in the X Proactive test, I feel comfortable in assuring you several positive things will happen. First, your growth will be evolutionary, but the net effect will be revolutionary. The net effect of opening the gate of change to the first 3 habits, the habits of private victory, will be significantly increased self-confidence. As you open yourself to the next 3 habits, habits 5, 6, and 7, the habits of public victory, you will discover and unleash both the desire and resources to heal and rebuild important relationships that have deteriorated or even broken. Good relationships will improve, become deeper, more solid, more creative, and more adventuresome. The 7th habit, if deeply internalized, which is sharpen the saw, that basically means things like exercising, a good diet, going to bed, getting plenty of rest. The 7th habit, if deeply internalized, will renew the first 6 and will make you truly independent and capable of effective interdependence. Through it, you can charge your own batteries. Again, if you want to know what all 7 habits are, you can go to my blog, which will I've got tons of writing on this topic. Just go to my blog and in the search field type in 7 habits, 7 habits of highly effective people, or you can go to my Twitter at Charles Lanson. Okay, so or you could just keep tuning in to the videos. I mean, because I'm going to go over them all the time. It's just, it becomes a little redundant to go over all 7, to name all 7 habits every single video. So, all right, so. So, you might be, well, how should you be using this information that I'm giving you? Here's the way I would recommend that you would probably get the most out of this information and have it work for you in your life. I mean, would be to just not only listen to the video. I mean, if you just want to listen to the video, that's cool. That'll work. But I think to really, it's all a matter of how much time you want to spend on your little proactivity program. But if you really want to check out the material more in depth, I would recommend using a material like this. Go to my blog, at charleslanston.blogspot.com, or you can go to my Twitter feed at Charles Lamson, and I have pretty much all of the notes for these video presentations on there. They're just okay. So how do you use this info then? So before we begin working on applying the info that is offered in the X proactive test, I would like to suggest two paradigm shifts that will greatly increase the value you will receive from this material. First, well, do this. Oh, do this. All right. First, I would recommend that if you do go and just check out all of the posts that I made on this particular topic, see this material. First, I would recommend that you not see this material as a book, in the sense that it is something to read once and put on a shelf. You may choose to read this series of X posts, or listen or watch this vlog completely through once for a series sense of the whole. Going all the way back to day one of the X proactive test. But the material is designed to be a companion and continual. Okay, it's getting a little bright out here. Process of change and growth. It is organized incrementally and with suggestions for application at the end of each of the 7 habits analyzed. And so, yeah, all of it comes from Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So, as you progress to deeper levels of understanding and implementation, you can go back time and again. The info will be here, I promise. I'm not taking it down. You can go back time and again to the principles contained in each habit covered in this series of X posts, and work to expand your knowledge, skill, and desire. Second, I would suggest that you shift your paradigm of your own involvement in this material from the role of learner to that of teacher. Take an inside-out approach and read with the purpose in mind, or listen with the purpose in mind. Absorb this material with the purpose in mind of sharing or discussing what you learn with someone else within 48 hours after you learn it. Read the X posts and the X proactive test, or go to my blog, read them there, or watch these videos as though you are going to teach it to your spouse, your child, a business associate, or a friend today or tomorrow, while it's still fresh. And notice the difference in your mental and emotional process. Oh, yeah. Cool. Organizational PC. And I'm not talking about political correctness, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about production capacity. Uh, I'll go into that a little bit more deeply right now. In his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey describes the P over PC balance as the idea that effectiveness relies on balancing short-term results with long-term results. P stands for the production of the results you want, and PC stands for the production capability, or the thing that produces the results. He always uses as an example the goose that laid the golden eggs, whereas golden eggs in this situation would be the product, and the goose would be the product capacity. I'm sorry, production. Production capability. Oh man. PC is production capability. Sorry about that. I was really butchering that. Okay. To better understand what P over PC, it's read like P slash PC, P over PC. So to better understand what P slash PC balance is, it may be best to describe what it is not. Here are some examples of PC imbalance in an organization. Yeah, I'm just going kind of easy today just because things seem to be a little tight and sore in my shoulder region, which kind of sucks. But anyway, so anyway, here's an example of PC imbalance in an organization. Physical asset. A person in charge of the physical asset might decide to crank up the production by having the machines work day and night without attention to the maintenance of the machine. Customer loyalty. Again, this is PC imbalance. Focusing too much on profits by watering down your products your customers buy. They will find better products elsewhere and take their business away from you. Work-life balance. When working, one shouldn't remain stuck on the same position for the rest of their lives. The 7 habits paradigm. Effectiveness defined in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Stephen Covey defines effectiveness as the balance between obtaining desired results and caring for that which produces those results. That's the PPC balance. The 7 habits are habits of effectiveness because they are based on principles. They bring the maximum long-term beneficial results possible. They become the basis of a person's character, creating an empowering center of correct maps from which an individual can effectively solve problems, maximize opportunities, and continually learn and integrate other principles in an upward spiral of growth. The maturity continuum. The maturity continuum is a model that describes 3 stages of increasing maturity. At the very bottom we have dependence. Rising upward, we get independence. And after independence comes interdependence. It's part of Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Okay. So, the first stage is dependence, which is when people are at birth and completely dependent on caregivers for their needs. The second stage is independence, and the third stage is interdependence. I know that in Western culture we tend to put a lot of importance on being completely independent. I know a lot of tough, rugged individuals, cowboy, rootin' tootin', macho man cowboys out there say that, of course, independence should be the highest above interdependence, but I mean, I guess so. It would seem counterintuitive to some. I get it. I kind of come from a macho background like that, but his point is, first we become independent, and then after we gain our independence, then we have to learn how to be team players and work within groups and synergize to get our really big goals out there, business plans, whatnot, what have you. Ooh, it's getting warm. So, the first stage is dependence. That's when people are at birth and completely dependent, right? I already said that, on caregivers for their needs. The second stage is independence, and the third stage is interdependence. The first 3 habits are 1 is be proactive, 2 is begin with the end in mind, and 3 is put first things first. But these habits are designed to help people develop independence rising from that state of dependence to independence through private victories. Being able to control our own behavior. This stage focuses on personal character and internal growth. Habits 4 through 6, which are okay, number 4 is think win-win. So you're talking about negotiation strategies there, working with other groups. Habit 5 is seek first to understand and to be understood. It's another great habit for working with groups. And habit 6 is synergize, just basically, like I said, learning to be a good team player, working with groups and that sort of thing. Being able to round up like-minded individuals. And so, habits 4 through 6, they're designed to help people develop interdependence through collaboration, cooperation, and communication. These are public victories that improve interactions with others. The maturity continuum is a spiral of continuous improvement, and anyone can start at any time. The journey of how you live your life may eventually become a habit that propels you for self-renewal. Habits defined. Habits are acquired behavior patterns that are regularly followed until they become almost involuntary. They can be beneficial or harmful to a person's goals. Some characteristics of a good habit include consistency, discipline, and a positive impact on your life. Stephen Covey defines habit as the intersection of knowledge, skills, and desire. Knowledge is the theoretical paradigm, the what to do and the why. Skill is the how to do, and desire is the motivation, the want to do. In order to make something a habit in our lives, we have to have all three. It's sometimes a painful process. It's a change that has to be motivated by a higher purpose, by the willingness to subordinate what you think you want now for what you want later. But this process produces happiness, the object and design of our existence. Happiness can be defined, in part at least, as the fruit of the desire and ability to sacrifice what we want now for what we want eventually. Our character. Basically, our character is a composite of our habits. Sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. The maxim goes. Oh. And what a maxim that is. Alright, so ladies and gents, I'm going to be digging up a quote from Aristotle on this particular topic. Uh, so, habits are powerful factors in our lives because they are consistent, often unconscious patterns. They constantly, daily express our character and produce our effectiveness or ineffectiveness. Okay, I've got, as promised, got a little Aristotle coming up. One of the most intelligent of Greek men. Moral excellence comes about as a result of habit. We become just by doing acts. Temperate. No, I'm sorry. Take it from the top. Moral excellence comes about as a result of habit. We become just by doing just acts. Temperate by doing temperate acts. Brave by doing brave acts. A new level of thinking. If you want to have a happy marriage, be the kind of person who generates positive energy and sidesteps negative energy rather than empowering it. If you want to have a more pleasant, cooperative teenager, be a more understanding, empathic, consistent, loving parent. If you want to have more freedom, more latitude in your job, be a more responsible, a more helpful, a more contributing employee. If you want to be trusted, be trustworthy. If you want the secondary greatness of recognized talent, focused first on primary greatness of character. The significant problems we face today cannot be solved at the same level or thinking we were at when we created them. So, the way we see the problem is the problem. I think I might have to pause things real quick. The way we see the problem is the problem. The more aware we are of our basic paradigms, maps, or assumptions, and the extent to which we have been influenced by our experience, the more we can take responsibility for those paradigms. Day 39 of the X Proactive Test, Year 1, the principle-based paradigm. People are at their best and most successful at reaching their goals when they're being driven by a core set of principles rather than by a list of do's or don'ts. How true is that, ladies and gentlemen? So, according to Stephen Covey, in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, people principles are guidelines for human conduct that are proven to have enduring permanent value. Their core ideas, like integrity, growth, and excellence, that we've observed over many, many years as wise goals for humans to pursue. The power of a paradigm shift. It's what we're trying to do here, ladies and gentlemen. It's the sole intent of the X proactive test, is to create a paradigm shift in the zeitgeist, to transcend the uniparty, two-party paradigm, left-right paradigm, two birds, two wings of the same S-bird. Okay, so I'm just going off on a tangent right now. Anywho, the power of a paradigm shift. The term paradigm shift was introduced by Thomas Kuhn and his highly influential landmark book, The Structure of Scientific Revolutions. Kuhn shows how almost every significant breakthrough in the field of scientific endeavor is first a break with tradition, with old ways of thinking, with old paradigms. For Ptolemy, the great Egyptian astronomer, the earth was the center of the universe. But Copernicus created a paradigm shift, and a great deal of resistance, and persecution as well, by placing the sun at the center. Suddenly, everything took on a different interpretation. Okay. Understanding paradigm shifts. Let me see if I can see this real quick. It's getting pretty warm out there. One. Paradigm shifts are not just a change in behavior or attitude, but a change in the way we see the world. 2. Paradigm shifts are often triggered by a crisis or a new discovery that challenges our existing worldview. Paradigm shifts can be difficult to accept because they require us to let go of our old ways of thinking. 4. To embrace a paradigm shift, we need to be open-minded and willing to challenge our existing beliefs and assumptions. Moving on. Primary greatness is based on who you are as a person, while secondary greatness is based on material and superficial things. Examples of primary greatness include honesty, humility, empathy, and integrity. Examples of secondary greatness include popularity, position, wealth, and public image. According to Stephen Covey, many people with secondary greatness lack primary greatness. Secondary greatness can lead to a lack of primary greatness, which can make it difficult to build meaningful relationships. If you want this secondary greatness of recognized talent, focus first on primary greatness of character. That right there is a quote directly from Stephen Covey. Alright, so the personality and character ethics, according to the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. Character ethics are the foundation for success and happiness. Okay, now we got personality ethics, okay? And now these are visible. And so, hello.
How you doing?
Oh, not bad. How you doing? Good. So, he likens this whole notion of personality ethics and character ethics to visualize, if you will, an iceberg. Personality are what you see above the surface. That's the visible part of an effective person. It would be something like this. Covey uses an iceberg analogy to describe the difference between personality and character, with personality being the visible part above the water, while character is deeper and more complex. This is also, and the emotional level here is low for these personality. Okay, you got personality, positive attitude, identity, first impressions, premeditated behavior. These are all things that are the visible, the little part of ourselves that is exposed above the water, like an iceberg. Now, the big, huge part of us that hides beneath the surface are character ethics. And these include things such as modesty, or ideas such as modesty, simplicity, justice, integrity, humility, patience, qualities such as the qualities, that's the word I'm looking for, courtesy, rules of conduct, nonverbal communication. This notions of leadership, tempo of work, emotional level is pretty intense. You got on the let's see here, industry, courage, temperance, fidelity, group decision making, perceived role in society, concept of self. Okay, these are things that are in your character ethic, I suppose. Okay. Alright, moving on. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the big shoe. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Time for us to part ways till our paths cross again. Happy trails, everybody.